Hello, our loved. You've got Joanne and Elizabeth here with World's Cup of Joe. Awaken Your Soul. We had a twin flame sex video that we got a lot of messages from. And me and Elizabeth have these talks. This is a real freaking thing. So, love, let's do it. Let's talk twin flame sex. Let's talk about sex.
Talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you
and me. Right? Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things.
and the bad things that may be.
Let's talk about, okay, twin flame sex. We got to add the twin flame part. Okay, so we were just talking, me and Elizabeth were talking about how once you have wakened up in this journey, and I think this is part of like that Kundalini awakening. I'm not even freaking kidding you guys, my love. There is this like goddess that ignited, like a sexual freaking goddess that ignited inside me ever since I woke up in this journey. I can't explain the wholeness and like pure embodiment of the sexual energy that I am and emulating from within. And I know how to harness it. I know how to create with it. I know how to make sure it doesn't push my person. It actually draws them in. And we were talking about this energy when you're in union, you are like synchronized. So real quick first, hold on. This is a second part to our twin flame sex video that we went over before. So if you don't know what we're talking about right now, feel free to look at it. I'll add it on the link below. Twin flame sex is like out of the cosmos, definitely out of this world experience. Anyone who is a twin flame that does experience this or knows this like immersion of oneness will know exactly what we're talking about. And so that's detailed on how to do that without pushing. So now we're going to go in a even deeper level, like just talking about this energy, right? The sexual energy between twins is through the roof. And when I woke up in this journey, it's like ignited inside this like sexual goddess.
All of our viewers, give them a little tidbit so they can understand the way I understand how you were prior to separation and then take it away from now after separation, because the dynamics definitely change how we both changed prior to separation and then after our awakening.
So I talk about this a lot, and I've told you guys, like, sex for me before was a very taboo. It was like, you don't do that until you're married. It's just very like, it was definitely not for
you were almost like repressed. You were like, you were repressing your sexual energy.
Yes. And now I can be so proud, like, to say that I know how to embody this energy, feel this energy, be proud of this energy, utilize this energy to create, utilize this energy to be closer to my twin flame in a whole freaking different level, like through the roof kind of level.
And there's no shame.
Exactly. And yes, that's the awakened version of me now. I'm a goddess. I'm a queen. I love my body. I love my twin flame. I love our oneness. I love this beautiful sexual energy that we both know. It's like creating a piece of like source energy together, right? It's like we're merging into this one whole being, right? Because the body and the mind just both like melt together. And you are literally that one soul experiencing this out of body, out of mind, all soul freaking experience. And what Elizabeth was saying is true. I have no F given being able to like be with my twin flame intimately, while before it was very, like you said, it was like not what you do. I don't think I even knew how to experience it to the fullest, to enjoy myself. I don't think it was to be enjoyed. It was kind of like in my head, it was like this is what you do to have kids. And then once you have kids, it's like you turn off that part of your body, right? And now being in this journey, it isn't even body anymore. It's like body, mind, and then spirit, all three-part triune being. gets to experience you wholly and fully as the soul that you are, and they reciprocate all of your same desires. Like both of you both just know how to make sure you are both taken care of. It's so crazy, and there's nothing in this world that can ever describe my experience with him that you can ever experience with anybody else. You just no one can get your body, mind, and soul all in one. No one can feel you from the inside out the way your person can. And he's very intuitive with my energy. You guys know this as twins. He can feel me. When I'm in this energy, he can feel me. When I'm in this energy,
Joanne,
he meets me.
We have to talk about how they are so soul, because they always interact with us through soul, right? And I almost think that sex is this new level of soul for them, where it actually gets my person out of mind on his own personal issues. When we're being intimate, he is so much in soul. He's in the oneness. Yeah. And I mean, this is really personal, but you guys, I tell you, you're part of this journey. And I want to share with you guys, because we always say we can't really tell a lot of things from our person's behalf because they don't share it with us, right? It's pull. Whenever we talk and try to ask questions, it becomes pull. But there was this one time we were being really intimate, and my person said this thing that I'm not even joking. I had to stop myself from ruminating on, because it was like, holy smokes, what did he just say? And he said, I have your soul. Like, your soul is mine. And I just had to stop, because he's like, I have your soul. And I was like, oh, more than you know. That's what I was thinking. More than you know. You are my soul. But anyways, it's like
they get to meet you. It's like they get downloads from this oneness of being
They get
twins.
Totally out of their heads. They get totally out of their own minds and their life personal problems. And they're able to be fully into the oneness with you. And I think that's what adds to that sexual experience of feeling into the oneness, is because the souls just align, right? Your two bodies become what they are, which is the one soul in this intimate space.
Yeah. I want to take it even further. So what you just said, Elizabeth, I've had experiences like that with my twin flame, where he can confirm our oneness as twins. He'll never do that logically, but when we're intimate, it's like and like you said, it's like he plugs into my soul, our soul. We plug into each other, and then he gets these like downloads of confirming our oneness. And then I have to like wooza while we're being intimate. I got to wooza and not ruminate. But he said,
"Don't ruminate. Don't think about this anymore. Come back to present.
Yeah, come back to present.
You guys,
all present.
Even in balancing sexual energy, we have to stop ourselves from ruminating. That's what kind of balancing queens we are, that we literally will be the conscious observer when mind wants to take over during sex. That's how you balanced and focused we are.
You gotta wooza the energy. And so here we are, we're intimate. He says this like twin thing, right? He says, even he looked like he wanted to cry. And my very like logical, strong, manly freaking twin flame, he's like super freaking masculine, guys. This is a masculine freaking masculine energy.
Both of our twins are like ex-military, so you guys know,
military,
like we're talking
like manly man, will never be emotional. There's no emotion like release coming from these two like rugged, rough, like masculine energy. So my divine masculine, my negative polarity, while we're intimate, he takes a moment of pause. And I'm sharing this because my twin flame radar had to be woozed in. And this is part of balancing. We want you to know you have to balance these kind of things when you're intimate. He says, it's not enough. Like being intimate, right? Which is like the most, like, how much more close can you get with anybody other than like the physical aspect of love? Like love making is the closest you'll ever be. And he has a moment where he kind of looks like disappointed almost. And he's like, this isn't enough to show me and himself how we're one. It was weird like that. Like, it's just not enough. And he just looks at me and like a little, like his eyes get a little bit watery where he's just like, it's not enough. right? It's so hard for him to explain to me that it's not enough. And you guys all know, you all twins can hear, like, yeah, of course, the physical vessel, the body isn't enough to explain the soul, like, oneness of what this is. And it's like he was almost getting like a download or experience, this out-of-body experience of soul. And he's like, crap, like even the actual physical aspect of our relating experience is not going to ever be enough to show me and to show himself the love of soul. It was crazy. Like I saw him like very like showing that side of him, and I'm looking at him and I'm just like, okay, wooza, like the little mini wooza, because so, I was,
Joanne, we need to tell everybody, because everybody asked the question, like, how do you guys talk about this and not push your people? Like, how is that possible? So we want to really emphasize, Joanne and I talk about this stuff all day. You guys know we make videos all day long. How do we do that without pushing? And this is why we say, like, why is nobody else who's balancing talking about this stuff? Because it doesn't push. And why does it not push? Because we come back to soul. We're in soul. We understand what this is. We are telling you our experiences, but we're not ruminating and saying, I need from my person. No. It's like, this is what happened. We're just laying it out there. And then we come back to soul. We come back to the observer. There is nothing we need from our people right now while we're discussing this. So there is no push even energy.
Like talking to you guys. So I'm parked right next to a gym. I'm about to go work out. I literally was just having a conversation with my person, and this is me, like, we're all adults here. We were talking like we could go be intimate. And I said, no, I actually screamed, no, I'm going to go work out. Like, this is me choosing me. This is self-love. This is not being in the addictive energy. And it's not that even if I went to go meet with him right now, I would be in addictive energy. No, it's just being able to be consciously... I just choose to work out right now.
Wait, Joanne, let's tell them how this whole conversation sort of started, right? Was that I was telling you how yesterday we're moving, so we're doing our final things to move. And my person was outside yesterday, and he was scooping up the hay that's outside and moving it in a wheelbarrow, and he was doing it with his shirt off, just going back and forth, sweating, drenched in sweat. And I'm not even joking. I was standing on my balcony staring at him. Mine was going crazy, like, holy smokes, he looks so freaking hot. And I'm telling this story to Joanne, and now I live in a log cabin, and there is no sound barriers pretty much in our house. So he's downstairs in the basement, which is right below my bedroom, which is where I was telling Joanne the story. And he text messages me, no joke, text messages me and says, can we just pretend we can't hear each other's conversations? So he literally, when I was telling Joanne about how hot he looked, pushing this wheelbarrow, and I was like, and I told Joanne, man, I don't like that I gave my power away. And she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I don't like that he knows I'm talking about how hot he is. Like, I'll tell him all day, you know, he doesn't like to hear it. He does not like to hear me tell him how hot he is. So the last thing I want to do is know that I'm talking to Joanne about how hot he is. So I had to sort of pull that in and like, okay, let's go. We need to tell people, because it's not like my person, he didn't pull from it. He was just like, oh my gosh, what are you guys talking about? Why do I have to hear this?
Okay, so I can definitely tell, and I do this all the time. I know I do this all the time, and then I gotta wooze it. But I'll be like, let's say in a passive like conversation, it's like, oh my gosh, you're so handsome. Done deal, right? Like in a normal soulmate, regular relationship, someone will just say,
they love
you're
that.
handsome.
They love that crap. Yes! They love that crap. But our twins don't like it. It's like, don't. I don't want to hear this.
He like does a pull face.
Mine does
in a regular, you're so handsome. A regular conversation, you're so handsome. Ooh, right? Inside the other person's face, it's like, ooh, I'll say you're so handsome. But here, get this, guys. In my head, it's like, you're so handsome. You're so effing beautiful. You're so... Oh, hold on, guys. When Elizabeth's person texted her, she said that. Didn't you say that? He's so effing glorious.
I probably said he's so effing beautiful. I don't know. He's just so hot. And this is the thing, and this is why this video is being created. Because prior to my awakening, right, or prior to my person, I should say, I didn't ever want to be intimate with my ex-husband, with people before me. I was in a relationship for years before my ex-husband. I didn't want to be touched. And it's like with my person, I want to be touched the exact same way years later with him that I wanted to the first time we met. Like, it has not changed. The sexual energy has not changed. I want him just as much today as I wanted before. It's like, you know, like that whole newlywed, almost like that people will talk about that newlywed phase, that honeymoon phase.
It never stops. It never turns off.
And that's what I'm saying. Funny. I saw him yesterday with the shirt off, and it's like, holy smokes, never fades away. That's the difference in that sexual energy prior to awakening versus now. Is like,
it never turns off. It never turns off because it's you. And that's why they're so gorgeous to us. That's why they're so hot to us. That's why, you know, when I say you're so handsome and then he pulls, in my mind, I'm like, if he would let me, I would keep telling him how handsome and perfect and how godlike he is.
And that's what's keeping us in mind. And that's the problem. Is because the mind is so attracted to the physical, the mental. It's so attracted to our own energy. It won't stop wanting.
That's what it is. The mind is confused why they're so beautiful, but what the mind doesn't understand is they're us and are effing beautiful.
We're so passionate about this.
Yeah,
we're so high vibing.
Passionate.
We're being
about the sexual
real.
energy.
So real
we
with you
are.
guys
We want to be real. We want to be real with you guys because it isn't. It's different than before. Before, sexual energy was like taboo. Now it's part of me. It's part of my awakening. It's part of my goddess energy. I love sharing this stuff with you guys because I want you to feel empowered with the sexual energy.
My person, that's one of the things he'll always tell me. He's like, I'm so turned on by you because you are so in touch with your own feminine sexual energy. That's what it is. Like, he loves how much I know my own body, how much I am confident in my sexuality. And I'm only confident in my sexuality because with him, there's nothing to prove. There's nothing to think about.
Yeah, it's almost like you melt. You know what I mean? In their presence, you melt into your oneness. Why do I melt? Literally melt all over him, everywhere, wherever we are. We could be anywhere. We could be like in front of our house and I'm melting. We could be like in the desert and I'm melting. We could be in front of the laundry room where you fold clothes and I'm melting. It doesn't matter the scenario or the situation. I'm freaking melting, guys. I'm like,
I've told you guys that all he has to do is touch. He just has to touch my arm with his hand, or I touch his arm with my hand. That's enough. It's done. I'm KO'd. I'm ready. And that's never been the case with me before. I've never been, I would say, I don't even want to say, I don't know why the term comes in my head, like a sexual deviant, but I've never been like that. I've been more on the prude side.
Me too.
I've been very prude. And with him,
I'm just like you, love. I think, so this is why we're making this video. We want you all to know, holy crap, you guys, I'm very, very careful. I don't hook up with just anybody, right? That's why all these TFs come in and they're for some reason, with my person, it's all rules go out the window, and we understand. We totally freaking understand.
Let's get deep here. I almost think, okay, so if you guys are familiar with Law of One, you'll know that there's Ra will talk about, and for those of you that don't know, it's amazing, so look into it. But Ra will talk about the strongest energy of love, source energy is actually through intimacy. So I almost wonder, because it's with our person, not only were we created by God as this one soul in two bodies, we're now reunited with that deepest sense of source energy through this act of intimacy where we can just be source energy in its purest form because we're out of mind. We're just one with our soul, balancing this connection. We are so tuned into soul, which means therefore we're tuned into source, which means we are tapping into this explosion of source energy. Crazy.
It is. It's it really is. It becomes this out of body experience where you're both floating in
and that's what
Joanne, you said earlier.
You said earlier that sexual energy is actually